Hey guys, happy Monday. How was your day today? I hope your week's off to a great start. Abby here, your fitness chick, here to inspire, uplift, educate, and motivate you to become the best version of yourself. Here every Monday night at 8 p.m. So hopefully your week's off to a great start. It was a very busy day today for me and ran on some caffeine and some high hopes. So hopefully yours was the same. All right, so tonight I want to talk about something that is just really, it's kind of become like beating a dead horse. Can we all just agree that life is already hard enough without saying you can't eat carbs anymore? Can we agree with that? Can we agree how sad life would be if you have to go through the whole rest of your life doing low carb? Can we also agree if no carbs was the solution, that we wouldn't have the obesity epidemic that we have now? Projection is by 2030, half of Americans will be severely obese. So the low carb, no carb diet fad thing, that's been around for a long time. It's had a good run. We've had people who've had great success. And if that's you, great. I'm not knocking you. If your blood works good and you're feeling great and you're loving life, then by all means, I'm not one to judge you on that. But for me, if somebody said, Abby, you can never eat another carbohydrate and just live your very sad life and never eat birthday cake and never eat popcorn at the movies and never do things that bring you some joy in your life, I'm not going to be really happy about it. So we can agree, I'm pretty sure, that if no carb or low carb or keto was the solution, we'd all be walking around fit, right? And it's simply not the case. And can we also disagree that we're all tired of the noise, of the confusion, of the chaos in the fitness world? Obviously, as a fitness trainer and coach, I follow a lot of other fitness coaches on social media. And I can tell you, I am so sick of the bullshit. Like, I'm swearing in all my videos now because I am so sick of all the lies, the gimmicks, and the bullshit of people that don't even know half the shit what they're talking about, and they're just wanting you to buy stuff from them. So do I think I know everything? Absolutely not. I'm sure sometimes I say stuff that's not correct, but do I know a shit ton of stuff? You betcha I do. And I'm really passionate about bringing the truth forward for you so that you can get out of your own way and start to see success and momentum with your weight loss goals. And so carbohydrates has been just this bad word. It's become this phobia. And I'm here tonight to clear that up because I'm going to tell you what, I've been there. I used to be terrified of carbs. I used to calculate all my food, calorie, even gum. Okay. What kind of life is that? It's not. Now, before I dive in, I just want to clarify one thing. I have had a couple people on my podcast that are keto coaches, intermittent fasting coaches, and they're extremely knowledgeable and they're doing lots of successful things. So I'm not here to backpedal against whatever was said or discussed in those podcasts. However, I feel there are a million methods to the madness, and for long-term sustainability with weight loss, it's not it. It's a proven fact that any kind of severely restricted diet, like one like keto, the long-term success, and when I say long-term success, I'm talking 2 years or more of sustainable weight loss, it's not there. So let's just stop. Let's try to come back to the basics because that's where the solutions lie. Now, before we can dive into all the info about carbs, I said carbs don't make you fat. So what does? What makes you fat is not being in a caloric deficit. That means not restricting your calories enough. That means putting more in than you're putting out. Now, how do we figure this out? Because it's very confusing for a lot of people. They just don't know where to freaking start. So like, F it, I'm just going to go eat a box of donuts. And I get that. I've been there. It's frustrating. So I want you to write this down so you can come back to this or come back to this video because it'll be posted for 30 days so you can figure out and calculate how much you should be eating. We're going to calculate it and give you the formula right now. Okay, ready? Okay. So the amount of energy that we need is determined by our basal metabolic rate. The basal metabolic rate is how much our body's needs in calories to just keep the lights on, to keep our functions going, to keep our respiration going, to exist, okay? Then we have what's called our TDEE, which is our total daily energy expenditure. Stay with me. You're going to get this, okay? So the total daily energy expenditure is going to include your basal metabolic rate, all the stuff that your body needs just to keep functioning, plus all your daily activities, folding your laundry, walking your dog, working out, hopefully, okay? Now, to calculate, well, what's mine? I don't know, Abby. Here we go. If you're a couch potato and if you have a very sedentary job, you don't have a whole lot of movement, what you're going to do to calculate your TDEE is you're going to take your weight and you're going to multiply it by 12. Okay? That's if you're a couch potato. If you're somewhat active, okay, maybe you play pickleball once a week or you get a little bit of movement in, maybe you work out once or twice a week, but not high intensity, you're going to take your weight, you're going to multiply it by 14, okay? 2 more. If you're pretty active, like I would say I am, where you're at the gym 3, 4, 5 times a week, you're going to take your weight and you're going to multiply it by 15, okay? And if you're a full-blown athlete, you're training for the Ironman, you are active, you have an extremely active job on top of that, you're going to take your weight and you're going to multiply it by 16. So there's the different formulas on how you calculate what's called your TDEE, your total daily energy expenditure. That's your personal formula on how many calories you need to be eating a day. Okay, so now we know that number. Now to go into a deficit, if you want to lose weight, we obviously have to deduct from that. Now that can be accomplished in more than one way. It can be accomplished through obviously eating less food, but it can also be achieved by moving more, working out, burning more calories. And my perfect success formula is to do a combination of the two. So you're going to take your number, whatever that was that you calculated, and if you're trying to lose weight, you're going to go into a moderate deficit. The key word is moderate. So my definition of moderate is we're going to subtract between 200 to 500 calories off the number you calculated. So for example, if your number was 1,800 calories, in order to lose weight and go into a calorie deficit that's moderate, we're going to subtract 300 calories. So now your daily formula of how many calories you should eat to lose weight is 1,500 if that was your number. Make sense? Are you with me? You guys can always message me or leave comments and I'll get back to you after the video, okay? So once you know your number, now we know where to start. So with that being said, to start off into a caloric deficit, it's overwhelming. So I always say concentrate on your protein. I like 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And then you're just going to track your food. Because most people who are saying, Abby, I've been in a calorie deficit. I've had 3 conversations this past month. Abby, I've been in a calorie deficit. It doesn't work for me. Okay. Well, I want you to track your food for 3 days. Every single morsel of your food, including your gum, including your drinks, every single thing that you put in your mouth. I want you to write it down. And people are usually having holy shit moments because they're like, oh my God, I thought I was in a caloric deficit. And most of the time they're actually eating 500 to 700 calories above what their number should be. So sometimes we have to track it so we have accountability and awareness, but we don't have to do it forever. It's just to create awareness so we know where we're at. Make sense? Okay. So back to our regularly scheduled program about carbohydrates. So when you go to the gym, when you're trying to lose fat and build muscle, when you're at the gym, that's not when you're losing all this fat. That's not when you're doing fat blasting. You're burning maybe some. But what you're actually doing when you're at the gym is you're building a body to burn fat. How do you do that? You do that by building muscle. Now, I realize not everybody wants to get jacked, and I have a lot of women that don't want to get bulky, and that's totally fine. But if you want to be lean and toned, that means you have to build muscle. Muscle is the basis of your metabolism. It's your kindling, it's your fire, it's your thing that keeps your metabolism rolling. The more muscle you have, the faster this is. Get it? That's why we want to concentrate when you're at the gym on getting strong, not so much on how many calories am I burning, because that's bullshit anyway. Most of the time those things are wrong that are telling you you burned so many calories on the treadmill or whatever. So concentrate on just getting stronger. So now you're building a muscle that's going to burn fat. Now, what is something that you can start to implement into your daily life when you go to the gym so that you can become stronger? You ready for the answer? Carbs. Carbs is like the premium gasoline for fuel. When you go to the gym, if you're on a keto or a low-fat diet, will your body adapt to burning fat as a fuel source? You betcha. Your body is an incredibly adaptable organism. The challenge is fat really isn't a great fuel source. It's not going to provide you with enough energy to lift as heavy as you could, to perform high-intensity training. It's not going to give you that extra oomph like carbohydrates do. Carbohydrates is like, here's the analogy. If you had a Ferrari and you put your dad's gas from his generator that he prepared for the hurricane in 1989 in a Ferrari, it's shit gas by now. Will the Ferrari probably run? Yeah, it probably will, but it's going to run like a lawnmower. You feel me? That's what's happening when you're not fueling your body with the right source, and that is carbohydrates. So let me come back to a little bit more explanation of this, because people get really confused about, well, what carbs are good? I'm not saying go eat donuts and go eat shit. Obviously, we can have some fun stuff every now and again, for sure. That's what I was talking about at the very beginning of tonight. But the right carb source, the right premium gas that you want to put in your body before you go to the gym is going to be sources that are going to give you quick energy. Stuff that's lower in fiber, okay, for pre-workout, that's going to give your body quick energy. I'm talking rice cakes with honey, rice, toast, things like that. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to lift harder, to lift heavier, which ultimately is going to help you to build more muscle. Do you see how this is such a great little cycle? It's wonderful. It's also going to help to spike your insulin temporarily. And this is a good thing post-workout, because what that does is it creates an anabolic effect, which is muscle building. We like that. That's what we want. So also, it's when you eat carbs after workout, it's going to refill your glycogen stores, which means your muscles are going to look fuller. You're going to have more energy. And it just means you're refilling your reservoir so that when you go to work out the next day, you're still going to have performance. You're going to have a good performance. All right. Isn't this making sense? This is real stuff, you guys. Okay. So now we have to address the elephant in the room. So we have people who are afraid to death of carbs. They've always thought carbs made them fat. I've been there. So what I would just encourage you to do is to slowly, if you're doing no carb and this is making sense to you and you want to come over to the happy side, just start with a little bit of carbs. And the good carbs that I'm talking about are small, smart carbs, like rice, potatoes, oats, legumes, sweet potatoes, if I didn't already say that. And what you want to do is you want to pair it with a protein. That's also going to help stabilize your blood sugar. Okay. We always want protein in every single meal anyway, and provide you with good results. Now, if you're not somebody who's even working out right now, which you need to do that, but if you're not, you should still be putting carbs into your nutrition plan. Carbs like your oats, your sweet potatoes, your quinoa, your brown rice, your apples, your pears, your berries, your whole grain bread. Bread? What? You can eat bread? Oh my God. Yeah, you can eat freaking bread. These types of complex carbohydrates are full of fiber, which means they're going to make you feel full for longer. You're not going to energy crash. You're going to feel energetic through the day. and it keeps your blood sugar stable. Okay, so start there. Now, I want to address my diabetics, my insulin resistance or blood sugar imbalance people. I get carbohydrates have been kind of your nemesis and you think that it is. I am not a doctor. You should always consult with a doctor, a licensed dietitian. I am a certified nutritionist. It's not the same, but I do have some knowledge with if you have these issues. Now, even though you may have diabetes, carbohydrates can still definitely be a part of your nutrition plan. I have tons of diabetics. I've had tons in 2 years that I've had my business, people in my programs that were diabetics that were implementing 100 grams or so of carbs a day. So choose obviously the right types. We have to be smart about what we're doing if these are challenges that you're facing. Also pair them once again with protein and fiber when you're eating the carbohydrates to keep that blood sugar more stabilized. Obviously, also look at your portions. We got to watch how much of them we're consuming, and you should definitely track them so it doesn't get out of control. And lastly, you should really sensibly time them, right? So if you are diabetic or you have insulin resistance and challenges with that, consume your carbohydrates around when you work out. Makes sense, right? Because you're going to have more ability to burn them off faster. Okay. So, let's just kind of wrap this up here. So the conclusion is there's a plot twist that carbohydrates actually are not your enemy. They can actually be the producer of premium fuel to build your body into a fat burning machine. When you eat carbohydrates, they're going to be burned down into glucose, which then gets stored into your muscles as glycogen, which is a fancy name for energy reserve. That means you're going to have the ability to perform better in your workouts, build more muscle, which increases your metabolism, which in the end game burns more fat. This is the way to do it. Stop thinking there's a hack. Stop thinking there's a magic tea. Stop overthinking stuff. Just do. Get moving. Start eating good food. Stay in the outer skirts of your grocery store for the most part. Remember the 80-20 rule. Eat good 80% of the time. Have fun 20%. And don't worry. Don't have guilt about when you have fun. This is how you sustainably lose weight. Quit losing the same 20, 30 pounds over and over and over and over again because you keep doing dumb shit. This is science. This is how the body runs. This is how you do it. Okay? So at the end of the day, we're striving for sustainability. I want that for you. We have to start thinking long-term health. We have to start thinking the benefits of when you burn more or when you build more muscle. You're going to help improve osteoporosis prevention. You're going to have better mobility. You're going to be able to move around when you're older, get off from the chair, carrying your groceries. That's what we want. Okay. So create your calorie deficit. Go back to the beginning of this video to create your formula. Eat quality food. Train with intensity. Don't just go to the gym and scoot around. Like, have a plan and actually show up to do the work. That's how you win. And don't fear carbs. Carbs are your friend. If you have questions about these, please leave them in the comments, private message me. You can email me, support@yourfitnesscheck.com. I'm here to help you guys. So I would love it if you reach out. So make sure you follow me on YouTube. I gotta say, I'm pretty excited. My YouTube channel has been so freaking sad, but I'm starting to figure out some stuff. So I'm getting some movement. I'm getting some traction. So go over to my YouTube channel, which is Your Fitness Chick. Please subscribe and follow. I put tons of good information on there for you that not only you can enjoy and learn from, but you can also share with your friends. And also, if you're not already a member of the Your Fitness Chick group on Facebook, please go over there and join that group. It's free. I post in there almost daily. Lots of benefits from being in the group is a lot of my videos that I do, I put the full video in the Your Fitness Chick group page. Not Your Fitness Chick page, Your Fitness Chick group page. If you go over there, I put full episodes on there. I know I put it a lot in my stories on my regular Facebook feed that sends you to the group or sends you to YouTube. If you're a member of the Your Fitness Chick group, you get access to all of it without having to run around a little bit. And I would appreciate you being a member. Next week for Facebook Live, the first Monday of every month, I'm in the kitchen. So it'll be your feeding time it's feeding time with your fitness chick. And next week, I am going to be cooking up some fun junk food alternatives because we like stuff that tastes good, right? So I got some really cool recipes I'm going to be sharing with you next Monday. And last but not least, if you guys are overwhelmed, if you need help getting started in a fitness or nutrition program, I would love to help you. I've been working out since I was 19 years old. I've had many success stories and I want you to be my next one. So check out my programs by going to www.yourfitnesschick.com and I'll see you here next Monday night at 8 p.m.